As the IFP, we are satisfied. We are happy with the results. The effort we put in the campaign so far yielded to our targets. Basically, the IFP wanted to see the ANC removed in KwaZulu-Natal. That has been achieved. We wanted to see the ANC pushed down below 50% in Gauteng. That has been achieved. We wanted to see the ANC at a national level pushed below 50%. That has also been achieved. So we are very happy because when the new government gets constituted, it will be a new shape that will give a new direction in our country. People of South Africa have spoken loudly, and that is what we want to appreciate as we go forward. I also want to thank the media for giving us space, platform to communicate the message of goodwill to the people of South Africa. Without you, we could not reach the millions of South Africans who made an informed decision and did not follow heart, but use their brains in order to save our country. I want to re-emphasize the fact that there is what has been said all around, that in KwaZulu-Natal, a new political party, the MK, was sweeping every political party. I'm speaking from a position of being informed and using the data that is available to all of you. The IFP went beyond the results we got in 2019 during the general elections, and we've gone beyond the results we got in 2021 local government election. So our base is solid. The new party that affected heavily the ruling party had no effect to the IFP, and I hope that matter can be put to rest now. Although we wanted to be the people in charge of the province of KwaZulu-Natal, but what satisfies us, a political party that had failed our province is no longer going to be the government of the day, and this is the call that we had made to the people of South Africa, that let us fix, let us rebuild our province, rebuild South Africa, rebuild Gauteng. I'm sure as the people of media, you will want to know what next. This evening, we will be meeting as members of the multi-party charter, because one achievement of the multi-party charter was to push the ANC below 50%. Achieved. The second goal was, after elections, we will look at the results. If we manage to form 50% plus one, we will consider the formation of a new government. We did not reach that goal if you look at all the angles. We'll be meeting this afternoon so that we look at one, say, thanks guys, we have made it, they are below 50%, and unfortunately we can't form a government. What is the way forward? We will be engaged in a conscious discussion and informed decisions. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I am meeting the NEC of the IFP, where we will be looking at the results, looking at the options available as to what role the IFP is going to play in rebuilding South Africa once the results have been declared officially. I want to put it on record. We are not desperate of getting into a coalition for the sake of coalition. We can only get into a coalition that takes our country forward. But the truth is, we cannot leave the country at a standstill. The people of South Africa have spoken loud and clear that they want a government which is a coalition, because no one is a winner. So now the message is clear that get your acts together, rebuild South Africa, and the IFP will have an informed decision once we have met tomorrow as the NEC, and thereafter, in a period of 7 days, we will convene the National Council so that we convey our decision, and when they rectify the decision or the proposal we'll be making in the role that we must play in rebuilding South Africa, we will be following that direction going forward when the first sitting is convened and play our role. Lastly, the IFP is looking forward to the first sitting of the Parliament. We're looking forward to the government starting to work. We're looking forward to be a force to be reckoned with. The IFP is going to be a game changer. Clearly, we are going with bigger numbers, which many parties will be crying because they will be losing some members of parliament. Although I'm not speaking from a confirmed point of view, but from the look of the figures, we will be more than what we have been. We will be a strong voice of the people of South Africa. The 13 points plan that we pledged and communicated throughout South Africa will be our guide in every conversation, because we want to remain honest and true to the promise we made to the people of South Africa, so that when they judge us on the basis of the commitment we made. As we said, our manifesto is our commitment to the people of South Africa.
And to add to that, are you happy being in the opposition benches in KwaZulu-Natal, or will you be working with the MK party?
As I said, the IFP will make an informed decision in the best interest of the people of South Africa, whether in KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, or nationally. But we are not desperate to get into a coalition for the sake of coalition. We will definitely get into a coalition that will work for the people of South Africa. I think I can end there on that one. On the question of parties that are disputing the results, it is their right to do so. I listened very carefully, especially on what was said by Ace Magashule in Free State and the combination of parties in Western Cape. I don't think there should be a need for a recount, because party agents were there during the counting phase. If the problem is on what is in the result slip, is not what was captured, I think the process should start there. From what I listened, to me, it made sense. And I'm very happy. IEC really, where credit is due, it must be given. They try to play the best, to be transparent. Yes, I know there are cases which have been raised in the IFP in Northwest. We raised a matter. A recount had to be done, excuse me, because there was a swap of the results. So I'm looking forward to that. IEC knows too much is at stake. They can't lose credit. they will do all it takes to ensure that the process is fair. Where a mistake was done, a correction must be done. People of South Africa don't want any delays. They don't want even any noise. They don't want any violence or disruption. They want a government that is going to deliver on the promise them.
Up there, so that means we can't put our they don't have sound box. So that means we need to put our mics here. But if some of them talk from here, it's going to be one of those sound issues.
Yeah. Except if we have. Can you perhaps get someone? I know it might ruin the shot, but even if someone can come and hold the microphones and move them around, I don't know.
I don't know what to say to you guys. The spokesperson speaks from here.
I understand,
and
but since there's no sound set up for us,
I understand, ma'am.
That's the issue we're having. Is if there was a sound box, it wouldn't be an issue. We just move the cameras depending on who talks.
Okay, so when he's responding, would it not be possible for one of your representatives to take that mic and move it to him? No?
We can do that, but yeah.
There's too many mics.
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole bouquet of mics.
All right. Okay. I don't know what to. I can't help you guys then. Unfortunately, I didn't organize the sound. I'm responsible for making sure that the press conference looks good.
Do you know who's responsible for sound?
The guys in the corner from the venue.
I've asked them. They said they're not going to set it up. Un, deux, un, deux, un, deux. C'est bon?
EW100.
And I'm on. Vas-y. Catherine, tu m'entends là? T'es sur ton channel toi? Ouais, elle m'entend sur le sien.
Can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Is that how you? Thank you. Omar. Check mic. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Ladies and gentlemen. كل عام وأنتم بخير. كل عام وأنتم إلى الله أكرم. السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. No, I have only one, but let me. You have a tape. You have a tape? Can put it. Let me put it like this. Oh, but we cover your jazeera, so no problem. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
يا can you ask
Yes.
إنه ابنته يا حبيبي شوف هذا شوف هذا
هنا كده عشان
هنا كده
هنا كده.
يا
Fine.
هنا شوف شوف هذا شوف
شوف هذا.
Yeah, to feel what's for lunch. Did you get lunch ready for us?
You have a lunch?
You got lunch to feel?
All these
To feel? Are you got lunch there? Can you hear me to feel? Are you? Right, okay. Akil, check my bag there and that jacket, you can just bring it down and then sort something out there. No, he's going to use his tablet here, so he's going to move all of this away. I think his tablet is going to be here. Mananadaya, can you hear us? Yes. Testing 1, 2.
Can you hear me? 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 Assalamu alaikum.
Why don't you put it at the front here?
No, it has to be visible. You know, these are our. You know, these are our. They always.
Yeah. Okay. One, two. One, two.
There's a gentleman doing 1, 2, 1, 2. The audio.
1, 2.
Yeah.
1, 2. Is everybody fine with sound? Okay. Sure. All right. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Yes. Hey. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 1. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. Yes, yes. 1, 2.
One, 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 one. One, one, one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Are you picking it up? Can you pick it up? Yeah.
Can we lower the mics a little bit? We're not going to see them. Can I lower the mics? Yes? No? Là, t'es mieux ou pas? Je pense que comme ça, on s'en sort pas trop mal.
Can you hear me? Timela? Okay. Hello? Hi guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Should I continue? Bra 8. Hello? Can you hear me? Wait. Huh? I must take it. One good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Can you hear me? Is it fine?
parliamentary, and if this trend continues, I think the DA is on track for a good election result. We're back in business, and let me tell you, a party with 22, 23, 24% in an era when no party's got a majority becomes a major player when it comes to determining the future lay of the land, so to speak.
There's a lot of chatter about the multi-party charter and how it has served the DA, but hasn't served the rest of those opposition parties that are in that opposition. We're seeing how badly the actually, let's say, results are faring in comparison to the DA, not to compare the two parties, but not receiving that same benefit as the DA. How do you reflect on this MPC? Was it a direct strategy for the DA to bring this opposition in order to gain this increase in 2024?
No, not at all. We entered the multi-party charter because we believe then, and we still fundamentally believe, that bringing together people around common shared values and principles is going to be the way we proceed. Obviously, I am disappointed in some of the results. Actually, they told us they were going to bring 10.56% vote to the table. I made an undertaking that we would bring the bulk of what would be needed to get to the 50% plus one. Look, I still think it's early days. There's urban areas have still got to come in big numbers. But yes, I mean, it's been my desire for the multi-party charter to go over the edge. This wasn't the strategy. We made sure that
we received 2,973 according to the results slip, but IEC captured 73. So it was one of the things that we were currently combining.
So when you received them, compiled them, and then you sent to the IEC?
Yes, was sending from the side, that's why David to show we send the objections to the IEC. Most of them came after 9 o'clock, after the elections of so let's just say we must immediately be able to, because they were not captured at the time.
Yeah, you can object to that which was not captured.
Yeah, but the NPA is saying that they're going to open up that objection. Yeah, because we're close to the then submit.
You can go.
Yeah, to the venue. Sure.
So this is where
the numbers.
This is where the trauma comes. Yeah.
and the leadership of the EFF. I will start by introducing the leadership from my left, your right, the Treasurer General, Mautwe Ompile. On her immediate right is the National Chairperson, Veronica Mente, which is sitting on the left of the Deputy President. On the far right is the Deputy Secretary General, Bopimai Lula. Can we please fix the sound? It's not sounding nice. On the far right is the Deputy Secretary General, Bopimai Lula. On her left is the Secretary General, Marshal Dlamini. On the left of the Commander-in-Chief is the Deputy President, Floyd Nyiko-Shibambu. And I'm introducing now the Commander-in-Chief, Julius Malema, to take the nation through. Please, can we all listen in? The Commander-in-Chief, President.
Thank you very much. I don't like how much switch on this thing. Someone.
I'm not switching on.
We're off.
Sound, can you please switch on the mics on the table?
Thank you, the officials of the EFF, members of the media, the people of South Africa, the ground forces of the EFF, volunteers, party agents, the economic freedom fighters welcomes the outcome of the 2024 general election and believe that, to a greater extent, they represent the will of the people. We, however, note the discrepancies, unprofessional conduct, dysfunctional occurrences, and inconsistent results capturing that have been brought to our attention from different parts of South Africa. We take this opportunity to thank all EFF ground forces for a job well done. We particularly thank our Youth and Student Mobilization Committee, which sprang into action as Mulungisi Madonsela Battalion and brought the necessary energy and dynamism into our election campaign and programs. The impact of the youth was felt in the 2024 election, and we commend the battalion for a job well done. The 2024 elections were not easy for the EFF, which was fighting not only against the ruling party, but against many puppets of the white racial capitalist establishment existing as political parties and in different media platforms. The 2024 elections were not easy because whatever effort and resources dedicated in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, parts of Gauteng and Mpumalanga were undermined by the commendable and decisive rise of Mkhonto weSizwe, which performed above the EFF in KZN and Mpumalanga. We nevertheless congratulate and commend the people of South Africa for voting out the ruling party from an absolute parliamentary majority, which was abused since 1994. Over the past 30 years, the ANC had used its parliamentary majority to protect mediocrity and corruption, and to also preclude any form of alternative perspective and thoughts on how our country should be governed. In the recent past, during the EFF's participation in Parliament, the ANC misused its parliamentary majority to do the following: distorted and voted against the EFF motion that sought to amend Section 25 of South Africa's Constitution, which would have made it possible to expropriate without compensation and to make the state the legitimate custodian of all of South Africa's land. Voted against the EFF motion, which sought to repeal all colonial and apartheid legislations that are still part of South Africa's legislative body and system. Voted against the EFF motion to conduct a parliamentary inquiry on the conditions and remuneration of mine workers and farm workers in South Africa. Voted against the EFF motion to introduce free quality education for the poor at institutions of higher learning. Voted against a parliamentary motion to investigate the allegation of corruption in ESCOM. Voted against a well-investigated and clear report on the criminal activities that took place in Palapala farm of the sitting President Cyril Ramaphosa. Voted for the illegal suspension and expulsion of EFF members of Parliament from parliamentary participation, which prevented the EFF from participating in the 2024 State of the Nation address. This and many other anomalies constitute the core of how the former liberation movement misused its parliamentary majority and dismally failed to bring about thoroughgoing economic emancipation to the people of South Africa. In the past 30 years, the EFF dismally failed to use the ANC dismally failed to use the parliamentary majority to bring about legislative changes that will have improved the living conditions of our people. We therefore appropriate that for the first time since 1994, the parliamentary majority of the ANC has been broken, and that from now henceforth, Parliament will take decisions based on logic and sense and not on entitlement of being the sole dominant ruling party. Parliament will now be better positioned as a true representative of our people and not a platform to protect the political elite of the ruling class. Now that the parliamentary majority of the ANC has been broken and there is no single political party that can constitute government on its own, we as the EFF will be engaging with different political parties on how we elect leadership of Parliament and constitute a government that will lead South Africa for the next 5 years. We will engage with all political parties with an appreciation that a government should be constituted within the next 14 days, meaning that some of the issues might be resolved after the base agreements have been reached. As previously mandated by the Central Command Team, CCT, after the 2021 local government elections, the EFF negotiations principles are as follows. Appreciation of the EFF 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars for economic freedom in our lifetime, service delivery commitments with timelines particularly on land, jobs, water, electricity, flushing toilets, and care for the people with disability. Anti-racism, meaning that whatever coalition is an outcome of EFF participation, must not reinforce white supremacy and Afrikanerdom. Anti-imperialism, meaning that whoever we partner with must not be a puppet or representation of the West imperialist agenda and interests in South Africa. Commitment to Africa, common prosperity and development. Publication of all the concrete agreements reached with coalition partners to avoid a perception that they are secret agreements. Constant and honest engagements and reports to the people on the progress made on coalitions. Additionally, our negotiation principle and demands will include the following: amendment of the Constitution to realize land expropriation without compensation in 6 months, creation of state-owned bank, nationalization of the South African Reserve Bank, cancellation of the historical student debt in 12 months, creation of a state pharmaceutical company in 12 months, passing of insourcing bill in 12 months, removal of distem from the national anthem, opening of clinics for 24 hours, 7 days a week, provision of free sanitary towels for all who need them, provision of free water and electricity for all SASSA beneficiaries. We will engage with all political parties that accept our principle and demands as legitimate, and will respect political parties that believe that our demands are irrational and must not be entertained. While we have decided to form part of the government of South Africa from 2024 onward, we are not desperate for positions and will not sacrifice principle on the altar of political convenience. The EFF final list of members of parliament and provincial legislatures will be amended to reflect the work done during elections. Those who did not play any role in the election work of the EFF will not go to parliament or provincial legislature, even if their names appear higher on the list submitted before the elections. The EFF officials who are mandated to be the final list committee will meet during the course of the week to conclude on the final list of those who are going to represent the EFF in national parliament and in different provincial legislatures. We advise all EFF members and leaders to comply with the decision of upper structures. Finally, we once again say thank you to our voters, supporters, and those who pledged financial and non-financial support to our movement. We also convey our gratitude to those who kept us in their prayers so that we all are protected during the election program. Thank you, South Africa. Re a leboha, siyabonga. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President. We'll take a round of hands. You can just show your hands and then we will acknowledge you. Babumpe, I see you are the first to raise your hand. Number 2. Then a hand that I did not see. Okay, I see you, TD. 10. That's number 4. I can't see you, my sister, sitting down. Okay, number 5. My brother, number 6. Number 7. Okay, number 7, I see you. On the far right. Okay, your number.
Mentioning some of the key principles that will guide your negotiation in the formation of the government or coalition. But what is it, maybe let me ask it this way, what is it that you are willing to somehow compromise, given that in a negotiation of this nature is a give and take? Out of that principles which you have laid out quite clearly, but I mean, you are aware that South Africans have given you half in terms of mandate. So what is it that you as EFF are willing to somehow compromise? Thanks.
Number 2.
Does the EFF have any parties, especially the ANC, that you say, no, we will not work with this one, we will work with that one? Thank you.
Number 3, everyone who's taking a question, please quietly move to a mic near you. On the tables, there are mics. They're working. Yeah, just use the mic because you don't have a shop steward voice, you guys. So use the mic here. Sit.
Thank you so much. Sidi Madia from Eyewitness News. Just a couple of questions from me.
You can utilize this one. So that...
But I'm on the mic.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Sidi Madia from Eyewitness News. I'm looking at the EFF's performance year on year, election on election. We've watched the EFF grow. We're not necessarily watching that case now. I know people are making a case around the MK party, but as the EFF, and I know it might be too soon, reflected on the role it's played in its current position. And I mentioned that, Julius, because over the years there's been the KZN buses issue, about KZN councillors or the buses issue. There have been issues about seeing people who've been rejected supposedly by the ANC being given posts in Parliament. I've had EFF members saying, but we're working to reward these people. So has the EFF also reflected on whether or not you've also played a part in what's happened on that leaderboard behind us? An issue of coalitions. You worked with
The leadership did not hear the question. Make the question, Tidi. Yeah. Don't worry, we'll understand.
Take two. When the EFF looks at its current performance, have you played a part as the EFF in where you've come out, in those numbers there? In the past, every other election we've seen you grow. That's not the case in 2024. It's not just, for me, it's not just an MK question. Does the EFF look at itself and say, maybe we also need to reflect on what we should have done better? Right? That's the first question. Secondly, on the issue of coalitions, in 2016, you were in a working relationship with the DA. You're currently in one with the ANC in Ekurhuleni. Part of what the ANC keeps saying is that it wasn't a working relationship. As they look at coalitions now, they say EFF is not desirable because it's difficult to manage the EFF. Is that an unfair assessment from where you stand as you go to the table? And just very quickly, Vianney, last one. My last one, I swear. You have a list of your cardinal pillars that are part of what you go into negotiations with. Some are saying, based on your current performance, you're not going there to the table with the upper hand, that you have no right to dictate the terms. You need to be more amenable to what is possible. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Comrades, let's keep our questions pointed and precise. Number 4.
Good afternoon. My name is Tembile Cele. I'm with Bloomberg News. The first question, just around the configurations that you're thinking of in terms of coalitions. I wonder if you would consider a government of national unity in which all parties that have reached an agreed upon threshold would automatically participate. Would you be in favor of that? That's the one configuration. The second one would be whether or not the agreement that you would be in favor of would affect just the national picture, or if there's scope for it to be a wholesale agreement which would then consider where you participate in local municipalities and at a provincial level as well. And then please, the last one, Vianney, if possible, will you wait for parties to come to you for these coalition talks, or are there parties that you've identified that you would like to make the approach to first? And which are those parties, if that is the case? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Number 5.
Thank you very much. My name is Lunga. I'm from the Mail and Guardian. Look, I just wanted to ask CIC, during the media briefing, I think it was just before the elections, you said that your position would be in jeopardy if you didn't do well in these elections. Do you feel that there might be some issues where the EFF might want to change you from the leadership? And secondly, do you think the emergency of MK was the reason that the EFF didn't do so well in this election? And what do you think of how they did? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Number 6. Let's move swiftly. Number 6. Okay, we're skipping number 7.
Hello, Alexis Akwajiram. I'm the managing editor of Semaphore Africa. My question is, are there any preconditions with which you would deal with the ANC? And specifically, would you be prepared to work with the ANC only if Ramaphosa stepped down? I ask this because MK said they would not work with the ANC with Ramaphosa in place.
Thank you. Number 7.
Questions have been asked.
Number 8, thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mawande. I work for the Sunday World. Mr. Malema, you start off by saying you accept the results. What has changed? Because we saw a lot of complaints, especially from EFF quarters in the Western Cape, about the results, and just generally, EFF members have been among those claiming vote rigging, vote manipulation, and all sorts of fraudulent behavior that they allege against the IEC. Does the leadership feel differently, or did something change between the heightened complaining and now? And then maybe secondly, is the EFF among potential partners willing to work with the DA, which declared the EFF coming into these elections as enemy number one? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think the first round is done. We'll give it to the leadership, Commander-in-Chief.
Thank you very much. We have just outlined our cardinal pillars and issues that will be demanding to the ANC. And we can't say now that these were prepared to let go or not. Because, like you said, negotiations of this nature need you to be ready to compromise on certain things. But there are certain fundamental things that you know that these are deal breakers. For instance, the issue of land is not something that you can compromise on. But we'll go and engage, open-minded kind of an engagement, and then we'll take it from there. We want to work with the ANC. If there's any party that we can work with and work properly, is the ANC. Because ANC, when compromised, is not arrogant. And ANC, when it doesn't have absolute majority, and it happens that you share power with them, they never recover from losing power. So if we're to go to election again in the next 2 years, the ANC is sitting at 40% now. For sure they're going to come back with 15%. Because after losing elections, they don't do any effort, nothing, to change some attitude. So once they say the ANC has lost what, you must know they are going to lose forever. So don't worry. That's why we prefer them, because they will never grow. We did a self-reflection, and we did very well as the EFF. We did what a well-established political party does, and including those buses, those people that were expelled for not bringing buses, we have no regret at all. They did not impact us anyway. I just said in the statement now, when we're running elections, you'll find that there are people who are not playing a role in the elections, but they are on the list. So there is a principle, guideline that was issued during elections when we're constituting election teams and converting our structures into election teams, that everybody must go perform where they are assigned. And then some decided not to do their work. And because they were disturbing the work of the elections, we said, just go home, we'll see you after these elections. So we're going to see them to tell them to decline their seat in Parliament. Because you can't sit at home and then go and dance at the rants in Cape Town rants when people are fighting to put up a rally and all of that. You have no role to play. You sit at home, straight from rants, you go to Parliament. It will never happen, that one. Never. It's not going to happen. Look, we are going to negotiate with the ANC the same way we did in 2016. We were stronger in 2016. I mean, we were in 2016, we were almost the same numbers, if I'm not wrong. Those numbers changed in 2019 to be what they were, 1.888 something. So that was not the number that we went with to the negotiations with the ANC with. We went to the ANC with the number that we have now. The same number we have now. That's the number we took when we went to have the elections with the ANC. So this is what happened. So we were doing very well. After 2019, we did well in 2019, and we did well in 2021. And then we had a slight decline now. Why? The people who were supporting President Zuma after 2019, I mean, when President Zuma was removed, they had no any other home because they didn't want Cyril. So they ended up coming to us, not coming in a form of taking membership. But when it came to voting, they said, well, amongst other these parties, the closest to what we want is the EFF. And then they went to vote for the EFF. That's why if you look at the number of the EFF, which shocked us, and it is now being explained by this. In 2019, we were just sitting and then we get 350,000 votes. We're like, In KwaZulu-Natal, Which ones from where now? What happened? What did we do? We were shocked by receiving numbers. We even told you this. We repeated it in public platform. We don't know where those numbers came from. Now if there is an explanation. Those people were never ours. They were President Zuma's people. So it's good they found their home. They must relax in their home. There is absolutely no problem. We are fine. We are like this. This is us. We are complete now. SG. There is no borrowed vote. So that's what explains CD. There is nothing that you can say the EFF didn't do and all of that. Hey, maybe that's why they did not get people. We got our people, and people who had borrowed us our vote, their vote, found a new political home, and then they went there. Remember, they didn't want Ramaphosa. In the ANC, they lost. Then, when they went to the polls in the country, they didn't vote for him. They voted for the EFF. And then, when they went to arrest the old man, then it was a mess. A discussion which I had with President Ramaphosa. Or you can't do what you are doing. You are going to make him a hero. Because it's not explainable what you want to arrest him for. So, and July unrest should have told us that the man has got some support somewhere. And start treating him with care. But even after taking him out of jail, they still go on to harass him and all. None of them have gone to him to apologize. So, but we are happy. We are the happiest because we have achieved our mission in our lifetime. And that mission was to bring the ANC below 50%. That's what we have always told you, that this animal is going to be eaten piece by piece. So, Reina, we were holding on this other piece, preparing to go to the other piece of the animal. Hey, Zuma arrived and took that piece. We're eating piece by piece. And then Zuma went to take the piece we're going to. But we don't complain. We want to humble the ANC. The ANC is very humble. All of you can go on social media. All of them have disappeared. They have nothing to say. Slay Queenie Sona. Samo Gauteng. Chelete ne ba fa di-slave queen. Ba fa chelete ya setjhaba, ba e fa di-slave queen. No more money for slave queens. It's done. We've taken the purse. The purse is gone. You can go and look at the ANC in Tshwane. Go and look at the ANC in Ekurhuleni. Go and look at the ANC in Joburg. They are dysfunctional. They have no direction because they lost power during local government. That disarray, you are going to see it at a provincial level. Thanks to the EFF. We started this job and we are continuing with it. Someone was asking me if I'm going to resign because we performed bad. I won't do that. It's not happening. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. I'm in charge. I'm in charge. That must be very clear. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere in terms of politics. I'm not going anywhere in terms of health. I'm not going anywhere in terms of age. Ours is a generational mission. It's not a popcorn that will just pop and disappear. It's going to stay. We have a staying power. And in Parliament, we're going to lose, if we lose seats, 2-3 seats. And we used to razzmatazz that Parliament. Before we were 44, we were how many? 25. We were razzmatazing it, 25 of us. So even if you take 3 seats, we're not going back to 25. We're still where we're not during that time of 25. So we're not a declining party. The footprint of the EFF is now confirmed that it exists in every municipality in South Africa. It gets its votes in every corner. It gets its vote now, TD, even in the suburbs. If you can go and look at the map of Joburg, you will see the VDs that EFF was taking in Midrand, in Centurion, in Randburg, and very interesting development. That we even beat DA in one of their stronghold. So the black middle class has found home in the EFF. They love the EFF. They vote for it. And they do so unashamedly. Proper progressive black middle class that is not money driven, that doesn't want to benefit from Rothschild, Rupert, Oppenheimer, Richard Branson of Virgin, what. Only blacks who don't benefit from that, the black elite, believes in the EFF, black middle class. So I can tell you now, go and check the votes of EFF in the areas where there are black people. You are going to find votes of the EFF. So, and then an organization like that you say is dying. It's not dying. In any election, there will always be dynamics. And the dynamic now is, there was an emergence of this party. Now we know it. What President Zuma did to us is what Mashaba did to us in Johannesburg. And then once we became aware, or there is a problem called Mashaba, we went to solve that problem, Shem. It's done. We finished it. You can go around and ask. For sure, he's checking quotations of hair products now. He's going back to do hair. Don't have time. We came here making noise. We reminded him many times, now you behave like you are something. And then the country showed him that is nothing. And the rest of those other people who went to eat people's monies, they received so many millions, so many. They can only brag about one seat and all of that. The biggest loser in this election is the ANC. And we must never try to be clever and shift that to the EFF and want to project the EFF as if it has lost a province or it has lost a country. People lose a country, people lose a province. You want to say the EFF has lost. What? We have won. And elegas tokomen. Letlo re kerea re le ka mo di officing ja bo ministera. Ja mmusho. Now this time on re a tsena shema bile a re tlo emela. Ai a re tlo ema. Le di negotiation jana je re a di kwa mara. Ya o tsena. Ya o tsena re a tsena. A re tlo emela o reng e tlhaga kae? O tlhaga. O rai batho bana ba reng a ba votele ANC a ba nya ke ANC tsamaya ba re ANC a ba fimetsi a ba fe tsamaya manskralo cheka gore ba vote jimang ba jile metsi a o bola batho ba bona ba tlhokofala. Go and check when o to thawiti o garo you are principle beyond principle. Ai ra tla bontshana no le stay ne izena ka tla re ka bontshana. ANC is a good heritage. Because we have to sustain this organization. We accept the result, but it doesn't mean when there's a discrepancy there, you can't raise it. To raise a discrepancy does not mean you are rejecting the results, because that discrepancy may not have material effect. Even if you succeed, it will just give you are added 1,000, you are added 2,000, but it's to teach the IEC also a lesson and principle and expose these shenanigans that there are people who are swapping results from result slip and captured. So it's a principle we need to pursue. But when we looked at those discrepancies, that they are of no material effect, and therefore you can't say on the basis of that you reject the result. We accept the result. We accept the defeat. We are unable to congratulate anyone for being elected president, because there's no president now. Yeah. There's no one. Even the one who's a current now, he doesn't know if he's going to be president tomorrow. Yeah. Nagito voter Limpopo, I just came back now. Wait, you are looking at boy. Diasukano. Unyaga Rubi, you guys behave, you got the president. Yeah, Ubolela, Uhatishigano. Must not talk after talking, can't what are you saying? Bitlie, Utini Baba Kuluma. Want to hear what are they saying? And we are not going to call them. Well, we don't call anyone. They will call us if they want us. And if they want us, we are here. We are not going to disappear. Let's talk. And out of those talks, the people of South Africa are going to benefit. We thank the Rasmatas in all the universities. There's no single university that we lost. The young intelligentsia is the one that is able to read and internalize the 240-something election manifest. So, and we are going to do bashes for them. We are going to celebrate those victories in all those institutions where we won. We have told the Youth and Student Mobilization Committee, go back to thank those young people who stood on the queues and voted for the EFF. We must remain in close contact with our voters. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Commander-in-Chief. We'll take the last round of hands.
There was a story of government of national unity. Mandela. Yeah, we don't do government of national unity. We don't want it. So we want coalition. We don't want government of national unity. We will end up with wrong people.
Thanks, Commander-in-Chief. We'll take the last round of hands. And you must forever hold your peace if you don't raise your hand now. There are no follow-ups after this. There are many other businesses, as you have heard, that the leadership must be engaged in. So I'm going to start from the back there, that gentleman there. You are number 1. My sister, you are number 2. You are number 3. Is there any other? Number 4, 5, 6. Okay, I can't see you. 7. No, 6 is 6. I counted it. Another one? Okay, 7. Yeah, we see you. We're closing at 7. No, okay, that's fine. Number 1 at the back there. Can we start? Sir, you can ask your question.
Faraz Patel from Hilal TV. Mr. Malema, I want to ask about the ICC arrest warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu and UF Gallant. What is your take on that, and how much of a litmus test this is going to be for international law? And added to that, obviously the EFF brought the motion to remove the Israeli embassy from South Africa. If the EFF is in a stronger position now to get it removed, what happens then? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sound guys, please give us a proper sound. Number 2.
Good afternoon, everyone. Zoleka Kodashe from the SABC. Mr. Malema, I want to know, you make the comparison between Action SA and MK as being the new kids on the block, right? I want to know, though, will you deploy or employ the same method that you used with Action SA? Or would you be willing to work with the MK party, and to what extent? And if that is the case, and then we do see a relationship forming between the MK party and the EFF and potentially the ANC, would a precondition be that the president of the ANC step aside for that relationship to take place if the ANC does not act against him? Thank you.
Thank you very much. We go to number 3.
Good day. My name is Lisa Gatandwa. I'm from the Sunday Times. Mr. Malema, some have said that how you narrated your view on open borders might have hurt you in these elections, in that you were seen to be a bit antagonistic in your messaging. Have you reflected on that? And as well as when you say that you are going to ministries, are you still intent on having Mr. Floyd Shivambu as the finance minister? And my third and last question, well, it isn't. It was Steer's question around whether your negotiations, will they encompass the entirety of the country, or will you focus purely on national? Thank you.
Thank you very much. My sister there, they skipped you, Lisa.
Thank you. My name is Deborah Monyeki from Love World Set. Mr. Malema.
Sorry. The last one. Okay. Lisa, can you please repeat your question, but make it pointed, the last one?
Just in terms of negotiations, obviously with MK dominating in KZN, it kind of limits the conversation with the ANC in that province. So what kind of negotiations will you go into the ANC with?
Okay. My sister?
Thank you. My name is Deborah Monyeki from Love World Set. Mr. Malema, at the World Health Assembly last week on the 28th of May, the member states of World Health Organization reiterated that the world needs a pandemic agreement built on the principles of equity, sovereignty, and prevention to ensure that future generations are safeguarded from the threat of inevitable future pandemics. Are we going to see EFF lobbying other political parties in Parliament for South Africa to support the pandemic treaty? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll go to number 5. Okay, thank you.
Good day, Mr. Malema. It's Ntando from Bloomberg News. Just wondering if you have started thinking about presidential candidates in whatever coalition formation you end up with. What would some of the criteria be to elect a presidential candidate?
Thank you. We'll go to the next hand. Yeah.
Sorry, Jadwat here from Salam Media. The first question is, does the EFF believe that the timeline stipulated for the formation of a coalition government is sufficient, given the current political climate? And then my second question has obviously been covered in that regard.
I thought I was the only one. Can you please use a much stronger voice than you're using now?
All right. The second question then, of course, having been covered is...
No, we still can't hear you.
The second question being has...
Okay, read it. Say it again.
All right. So starting from scratch, does the EFF believe that the timeline stipulated for the formation of a coalition government is sufficient, given the current political climate? And secondly, does it matter to the EFF who is at the helm of the ANC when you enter into negotiations?
Okay. You can go. Please try to utilize the mic there.
Mr. Malema, this is Christian from Netwerk 24 speaking. My question is, do you rule out coalition talks with any specific parties, and what are those parties? And seeing that the EFF and the ANC will not have enough seats to, on their own, have a coalition, what other parties, could there be a possibility that a third party would be involved, and which party would you prefer? Thank you.
Thank you. Brother there.
Good day, Mr. Malema. My name is Saeed. I'm from Phoenix TV. So my question is, given the experience from the municipalities, the idea of coalition, what lessons can be learned from this experience when it comes to the national government?
Okay, thank you. The last hand. Yeah. Please switch it on.
Abangani Siziba News Central TV. I just want to ask, there are some that are saying EFF lost because of your stance about foreigners. Do you still stand by that even after your votes have decreased?
Okay, thank you very much, colleagues. That was the last round of hands. Commander-in-Chief, President.
Thank you very much. The EFF welcomes the arrest of Netanyahu, and part of the engagements in the coalition agreements will be the implementation of the resolution of the previous parliament, which said Israeli embassy must leave South Africa. So we are still going to emphasize that. Action SA made it very clear that they are the enemy of the EFF. And the Action SA did not have a manifesto. Their manifesto was EFF. Everywhere Herman went was tweeting about EFF. EFF this, EFF that. Look at him now. He didn't concentrate on his organization. He's concentrating on other people's organizations. So we don't care about Action SA. MK, we are relatives. We are together. If I had to do things they don't want to work with the ANC, there's no problem. But now we'll work with them. We'll work with the ANC and work with them also. There's no problem. We are not far from each other. We are one thing with MK, so there's absolutely no crisis. I agree if MK doesn't want to work with the ANC national, and then we work with the ANC national, there's nothing stopping us to work with MK in KwaZulu-Natal, and also in Gauteng. So Mpumalanga as well. So there's no problem. There's no animosity between MK and the EFF. So that's what you guys, throughout this campaign, you were trying by all means to try and create a division, and we refused to fall into that. Floyd will be a minister of finance if they agree, these people, because he's the most qualified in all respect. None of the people they've put there have got the understanding of that institution better than Floyd. So, yeah, we're putting a best candidate forward. Pandemic treaty, we agree with that. We'll support that. Border, open border, we're supporting foreigners and all of that. Okay, if this issue is the one that has costed elections for the EFF, why didn't this issue give Mashaba votes? It's not true what you are saying. Rena problem ya rena. MK. MK took our votes, which it borrowed to us in 2019. There's no any other explanation other than that. If this issue was a concerning issue in South Africa, Gayton Mackenzie, Mabahambe with 2 seats, Mabahambe. They didn't help anyone with anything. You are not going to be made to compromise a principle to please non-existing voters. Our voters understand our message very well. Our open border policy is, we want Africa that is one. But you cannot do that before you develop the other economies of Africa. And you develop the economies of other African continents through making it easy for goods and services to move around the continent and individuals to move around the continent so that we help develop the continent. These people don't want to come here for the sake of coming here. They want jobs, they want greener pastures. We are a big country, we've got a huge capacity. We can develop their countries and benefit out of that in a huge way. And it's not something that you get elected today. Tomorrow you'll be carrying gates around you in a bag. We have removed these gates. Come. No. Doesn't work like that. You guys are just vulgarizing the whole point. People, 40-something thousand people, 41% of those voters voted for the ANC, which is the one that brought these people here. These people are here already, undocumented. They were brought by the ANC. Why are 41% voting for the ANC still? Because if you hate these foreigners so much, you must hate even a party that has made it possible for these foreigners to enter South Africa. Who has benefited from these xenophobic attacks in these elections? No one. Operation Dodola was contesting elections. They are not going to get anything. Back to the village where they come from. Don't have time. South Africa. So we are refusing. We are refusing to switch off oxygen machines. And if you comrades are saying that thing is the one that is costing us vote, let it continue costing us vote. We are refusing to switch off machines. We are refusing to deny children, African children, to study in our schools because we are told they are from a certain country. But they are Africans. Our interest is to educate Africans. We cannot allow that. If this issue is going to make us remain, the 5 of us, 6 of us, so be it. We're not going to retreat on a lie, on a scaremongering. The issue when we started in 2014 and 2019, it was land. They were saying, EFF is going to take your land. They even did a program to give people
title deeds. We're giving you title deeds. EFF doesn't want you to have title deeds. Now they realize the issue of the land is not working. They go find something there, which is non-existent. It's a lie. If you doubt me, go and talk to Mashaba. He will tell you how big a lie is this thing of being xenophobic. And then you think you are going to get votes. No. We don't want votes of tribalists, by the way. We don't want votes of racists. We don't want votes of people who thrive on the division of the working class. We don't want regionalistic politics. That's why we are national in character. And we reject regionalistic politics. We reject tribalism. Because tribalism is equal to racism. Once we start engaging in tribalistic politics as a country, you must be rest assured we're inviting a disaster in this country. Because the worst thing with tribalism is that it will lead to a situation where people fight in the same country. It will lead to a civil war. Tribalism goes straight to civil war. That's why we don't subscribe to those things. Someone was saying, why are the Limpopo people not voting for Malema in Limpopo? The Limpopo people are voting for the EFF. I don't want to be voted by the people of Limpopo on the basis of me coming from Limpopo. I don't want that. The EFF is not from Limpopo. It's Julius Malema who's from Limpopo, not EFF. So don't want to locate our organization into some province. We are a national organization. That's why we fight battles in every corner of South Africa, and we are going to continue doing that. Whether we are in government or not, we are going to fight for our people. We are not going to behave here like people who are riding on a high horse and then abandon the character of fighting for our people. We will continue to fight for our people. And what gives us courage is the young vote from the universities. It means we are growing with a generation. The old will die, the new will emerge. So, I used to say Ramaphosa is a big problem and all of that. Now, that issue is not my problem. It's not my problem. Or Ramaphosa, okay, president, or I say president, it's not my president. It's the president of those things. So don't involve me in the... We are going to bring our list. People are going to bring their list. And then we put together. Yes. So, if we didn't want Ramaphosa, why didn't you vote him out? And stop asking us to do things that you didn't do. You had an opportunity to vote Ramaphosa out, you didn't do it. You know Malema will do it. Do it yourself. The ANC has got all the right to remove Ramaphosa if they want. We are not getting involved there. We don't want. Ramaphosa is not our preferred cup of tea. It's not our preferred. But he can't be a deal breaker. We don't prefer him. We know that he was a collaborator. We know that he's got billions, but he doesn't produce anything. He's not in manufacturing. He's not in agriculture. How do you become a billionaire like that? You do that by selling out your own people. So we can say a lot about Ramaphosa, but he's not an EFF president. So we choose EFF leaders. Even who's going to parliament, to cabinet, it will be us who choose from the EFF side, and then they will choose from their side. They can bring a person you hate so much. You have not won elections, win elections and appoint the people you love. So there's nothing you can do. We are here. That's where we are. So, you know, the good thing with the EFF is that we speak to everyone, including those small boys of the DA with their grandmother, Helen. We can talk to all of them. Those racists, we have no problem. But we talk to them out of principle. We are not going to find each other. Shame. We are not going to find each other. We will just talk because we are talking. But there's nothing we're going to really find from those people. How do you have an opposition declaring an opposition, and then leaving the ruling party to concentrate on the opposition? And all of them, they get formed and then they concentrate on the opposition. Even the new ones, you can see they are bought by Oppenheimer to go and chase the EFF. They wanted to finish this EFF in these elections. The Oppenheimers took millions and millions of money. Barry, hey, we don't want this kind of an arrangement. This EFF is a big problem. They went out to finish the EFF. Look at us now. Oppenheimer. We're here. We're a problem for another 5 years. They have to deal with that. They have to deal with that. Let that parliament must know. The new speaker, don't be a crook. If you become a crook, you will find us ready for you. So, we are in a very good mood, looking forward to go to Cape Town. We must go clean up our boots and our overalls. Sangen, Pesgwa. Lessons from coalitions. The only thing you must do in a coalition is to be humble and don't lie. The ANC lies a lot. That's their problem, and that's what is going to be part of the discussions with them. They lie a lot. They say this and then say something else. Say this and say something else. There is a mayor there, Eni Gurlen, who went to take the powers of the MMC of Finance, because MMC of Finance is our MMC. He must return those powers. He must return those powers. Otherwise, we are putting a motion of no confidence against him. Of the ANC. He must return the powers. We agreed when we were talking that there's no one who's going to move alone without engaging other partners. He goes to give a speech and then he announces he removes certain powers from the MMC of Finance. He must know elections are over. We are now on him. And that is going to be part of what we are going to discuss with his leadership. Vulamlo. What is Vulamlo? Return the powers. To show sign of being honorable. Return the powers of the MMC. So that is Vulamlo. So learn to be humble. Learn to know you have not won elections. And then always navigate through. Take each other into confidence. Do not seek to outshine others and convert them as if they are just your puppets and voting cattle, like they're trying to do in Johannesburg municipality. We're not going to allow that. Elections are over now. We're going to govern where we're governing. We're going to govern properly. And we're not going to allow the ANC corruption. One of the positions we're going to demand from the ANC is a speaker. The Speaker of Parliament. Because we can't go into a coalition with the ANC and not have a speaker. The ANC is running the executive. We have to run the speaker, so we monitor them and we make them accountable. So the Speaker of Parliament might be sitting in front. So we really want to thank everybody. Thank you, media. Those who covered us positively, those who covered us negatively, we understand. It's brown envelopes, they work like that. They make you say the things that you don't believe in. We defeated News 24 as well, because it was in a cahoots with our enemies. And then we defeated Daily Maverick, and we defeated Oppenheimer, Rupert, the Minel family. We defeated ENCA. When MK was overtaking, the first overtaking of MK, by the leaderboard there. I was in a house where they were watching ENCA. Yes, sir. Those ENCA people were celebrating like the EFF has lost elections. So you can see that these people, they don't love us. They do everything in their power to get rid of us. We are not going anywhere. It's corner. And we are in all legislatures, by the way, comfortably. Too much. We are in this thing for a very long time. Ours is a generational mission. Ours is a generational mission. There is no one on this table who is 60 years old on this table. So we are here for many years to come. If President Zuma can do it at 82, just not even 50 on this table. So if President Zuma can do it at 82, it means you are going to wait for me until I turn 82. Because I will be here. If President Zuma can hold it until then, CD, I'm not going anywhere. I'm with you. Thank you very much, colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you very much, members of the media. That's it for today. Aluta continua. Thanks, comrade.
Rogoy.